Welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to a very, very special video that I have for you today. Of course, diving back into the greatness that you should all know relating to Spider-Man, the new animated series. Now, even though you have probably seen previous videos on my channel going over the show, going over the best episodes that the series entailed, reviewing the series, and obviously the overall beloved franchise that is the Raimi films, having the massive inspiration that formed this entire show in the first place, taking attributes from that story and implementing it into an animated format. The legacy of Spider-Man, the new animated series, is a very intriguing one, especially since the majority of Spidey fans out there do pretty much see Spectacular Spider-Man or Spider-Man, the original animated series from the 90s, as the core main interpretations of Spider-Man that are pretty much iconic within the animation spectrum. And obviously recently we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the sequel for that movie, Across the Spider-Verse, confirmed to be releasing pretty soon, as I would say keynotes and just highlights of what Spider-Man can do in the realm of animation. But a lot of people seem to overlook what Spider-Man, the new animated series, really pulled off in 2003, and so much so that there's actually an incredibly talented group of individuals who love the show so much that they have decided to continue it with their own fan-made Season 2. Now, you might remember that I've actually interviewed another group of extremely talented people who are making their own Season 2, but this is actually the part of Spider-Man, the new animated series, continued in their own amazing fan-made production, continuing the series from where it left off with Season 1, and today I am joined by the incredible Nero, Gons, and Tough Cookie from the overall development team working on the fan-made series for Spider-Man, the new animated series, Season 2. What is up, guys? How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Doing great. How are you, Evan?
Oh, I'm doing great, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I am very honored that you actually asked me to be able to talk to you guys about this, because I'm obviously a major fan of this show as a whole, but the fact that you guys are continuing it in your own unique way and putting your own spin on the series, especially since I would say this is a version of Spider-Man that we kind of grew up with, given that this in canon is technically the Raimi Spider-Man, where it was based off the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, and the original new animated series show continued off of where the first film left off. So now, especially given where the first season of the show ended, where Peter pretty much quit being Spider-Man, seeing that where Peter threw his suit in the ocean was just super heart-wrenching to watch, and Indy still remaining to be in a coma, the relationship between Peter and Harry, as well as even MJ, is a bit kind of heartbroken right now, I would say, between all of them, that they are now feeling the loss of Indy potentially being in this coma forever, and Peter is kind of distancing himself from his friends. But you guys being able to continue the legacy of this show in a completely innovative and unique way, in a fan-made production, I just think is incredibly cool. So what really drew you guys to make this show and continue it on with your own twist in the spectrum for Spider-Man in the first place?
One of my good friends, Justice Sketches on Instagram, he had come to me about an idea to continue the series, and I was interested, and we worked together on it for a while. And I took over as director, and I just kind of fell in love with the series as I started to make this continuation, and making a series with my friend. And yeah, it just kind of kept growing my love for the series as I made it, and meeting new people and getting people on the crew like Trey here, who have loved the series for almost forever. Just a big ball of like appreciation and love for the original series. That's essentially what the crew is, and that's essentially how we got where we are now in terms of our production.
It's this very mature take on the character that still completely understands the heart of Peter Parker, the heart of Spider-Man, and the heart of all the characters around him, his relationship with them and the world. And so seeing that it only got one season when there was so much story left to tell, we just kind of, I feel like it's our duty to do it, as fans of the story, as storytellers ourselves, all that sorts of stuff. We had to, we wanted to, we love the show so much.
I just feel like TNAS, just in general, is just such an interesting way to approach that character as well. And I know it's very like early 2000s. It definitely has that very of the times type vibe to it. but I'm gonna lean a little bit more onto like the music and different attributes like that, the style of the show, the way it's animated, the way the characters kind of come off, the way the music helps build in those different scenes, and just how vibrant the show is. It was very different from its Raimi counterpart, and it was something I was always infatuated with. So whenever they were adding more people onto the crew and I heard about it, I had to jump on. I had to do something. I just knew it was going to go somewhere. I knew that we were going to be able to take it to a place that we all felt really comfortable with. And us as fans, we wanted to see it go to those places. So it's really awesome that we get to sit down and we get to talk. We get to be geeks and nerds about this show that we love so much, and we get to make it. And not only that, we have people that are just so excited to see what we get to put out. And it's so enthralling to know that we have all of that. I love these guys. I cannot believe that we're actually talking to you right now, Evan. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, I'm very honored to be able to talk to you guys, because based off the work that you've actually shown publicly on your Twitter page so far, it looks absolutely insane. It genuinely looked like, the first time I saw that clip of Spider-Man swinging through New York City streets, it looked like a legitimate season 2. Like, that's how high of a quality job you guys have done with this, and you should be incredibly proud, because not only is animation an insanely hard field to master, I would think, but just being able to interpret a character like Spider-Man and all the fluid motions and maneuverability that we have grown accustomed to with the character from films, comics, and just the poses that we see him kind of perform. And obviously what the core inspiration I would think that you guys took for your own version is the first version of it itself, the original Spider-Man, the new animated series in 2003, because I totally agree with what you said. The show is so unique in so many ways. It's 3D cel-shaded animated, but it's also taking a lot of inspiration from the Ultimate Comics and putting its unique twist on all of the characters that we know from Spider-Man's supporting cast and Rogues Gallery. Like, Indy, Indira Daimonji, aka the best character in the entire show, in my opinion, is pretty much a hybrid of, I would say, Betty Brant and Gwen Stacy in the show, and I just think that her characterization in particular is why I personally view this show as so special compared to even something as great as the Spectacular Spider-Man or the 90s series, because again, it's in the title of the show, the new animated series. Everything in it is new. The character designs, the character interactions, the characters' backstories, even new characters that we've never seen before, like the Christina Zone and Turbojet and the Biker Twins, and my least favorite, the Gaines Twins. Oh, don't even get me started. But there's so much, innovation with that series, and you guys continuing that in your own way, not just by innovating in the way that Spider-Man is moving around, the animation style, pretty much looking one-to-one identical to how MTV and Mainframe portrayed it back in 2003, and also modernizing it for the current day is, again, beyond incredible, and you should be extremely proud of the work that you've done. And I would say, with everything that you've managed to accomplish thus far and how the show is currently progressing with your production pipeline, what is one of the main elements of your own series that really stands out to you the most? And what are you looking forward to fans actually watching from this series out of everything else?
Honestly, I think I'm not sure I can choose, because I loved a lot of the stuff from the original show. I love the tone, I love the story, I love the interactions between the characters. They felt like they were actually in college. I love the animation, the music, and I feel like a lot of that carried over into our series quite well. I'm quite happy with what I and my team have achieved in terms of not just visuals, but storytelling and the music and all of that. I think we nailed a lot of that pretty well, and I'm very, very impressed with myself, not just myself, but the entire team, and I'm very excited for a lot of people to see what we're able to do.
I would have to say, by the end of the first season, the show really became about the dichotomy between 5 characters: Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Mary Jane, Harry Osborn, and Indy. And so that was kind of our jumping off point for the show. It's, where are these characters when we pick back up? What is their relationship with each other? What has changed now that Spider-Man's gone? And so we want to continue that thread, and we want to pick it up and see what happens with, obviously, Spider-Man's going to come back. So, like, where is that going to take them? What is that going to do to their characters? Where are they going to go? How is it going to diverge from what we've seen before in the original Raimi trilogy? What can we explore with all of them?
I think I'm a little bit biased because I had to do so much extensive research when it came into joining the project, especially becoming a writer. It's like I said, it's very of the times. There's a very specific way that they talk, and it's just so interesting. There's all these little different things that they have done, and there's so many different things that we haven't seen them do yet. And so there's a lot of these aspects that we want to touch on and maybe revive, maybe take out, maybe change a little bit, and improve upon. And especially with the music as well, this is a continuation. It's a season 2. It's fan made, and there's a lot of different things that we want to add into it, especially with the music. On my behalf, there's a lot of things that I had to take liberties to, and I've had to do so much research on the original soundtrack. I've had to listen to it endlessly for months and months and months on end, just before I could even attack the main theme. That's such an important piece of the entire show. That theme is so unlike anything else we've ever heard with Spider-Man soundtracks. It's so interesting, and that was definitely one of the aspects that I feel really proud of. And I'm also extremely excited to see the scenes where you get to hear all of it with the animation, because again, Nero is killing it right now. This man is making some awesome stuff. And I wish we could just put it out, because it's like, seriously, it's crazy. But like hearing the music and seeing the animation, like hearing our voice talent just being able to do awesome stuff with these tests and stuff that we've done throughout, like it's so incredible. Like what Nero said, there's so much that goes into it. There's not a definitive thing that we can say is like our favorite, but we've all put in our respective expertise into it, and we've been able to come up with something really awesome that we're really excited to show.
So, what I find the most intriguing about how Spider-Man, the new animated series, the original show, started off is with a brand new villain of Turbojet. It was kind of, I would say, a modern twist of Rocket Racer, and bring that new and kind of in a different way to give just, I would say, a fresh view on the Spider-Man mythos, and just provide viewers with a type of twist in the animation format we haven't seen before, by him blasting through the entire city, going at super fast speeds, and Spider-Man chasing him throughout those certain swinging scenes looked gorgeous. So for your guys' very first pilot episode for your continued season, what are you really doing to, I would say, innovate or just give new life and a new viewpoint for Spider-Man fans to dive into in a way that we may have not seen before previously?
Michael, you can go ahead and enter this.
I'm about to say, that's a really good question from Michael, bro. That was huge for him.
Wow. Okay. I don't know. I thought it was a Gons question.
Oh, okay,
but,
bro. I see.
No, I think we could all answer it. I think what we did to sort of innovate is we took inspiration from a lot of other different Spider-Man media, but we tried to spin it in a different way, and we tried to sort of come up with ways of the Raimi movie world kind of bleeding into the show, if that makes any sense. What I want to talk about, I don't know if I can, is the Oscorp conference.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't want to go too deep into it, but there are references to the first movie, and Harry sort of owns up to certain things. I will say, though, he does not know that at that point that Norman Osborn is the Green Goblin, or was. He does not know that. But it's interesting to see like where he goes in trying to take responsibility for himself. Like, all of these characters are very different from the last time we saw them. And so it's interesting to see, like, where's Peter? How has he changed? Where's MJ? How has she changed? What do they all think of each other at this point? We have the Shocker as the first villain here. He's a lot more dangerous than other incarnations. He's a lot more unhinged. He's not the sort of guy that's just like schlocky, you just laugh at him whenever you see him. No, he's a threat. And so it's very interesting seeing Spider-Man have to come back and deal with the sort of things that Shocker is planning for New York City.
At the end of season 1, it ended at a very bleak, very like sour note. And so the first episode kind of covers a lot of that. They've taken the time to deal with those things, and they've all kind of come to their own conclusions. However, there are still those fragments of different things that remind them. They're permanent reminders. And definitely the Spider-Man's absence is definitely one of the biggest ones. In any Spider-Man story, when he goes away for such a long time, New York, changes. it suffers greatly from his absence. And there's a lot of inner turmoil that we want to play with when it comes to Peter, like living in a world where he has the power to do something, but just is so scared to do that thing. And it's a very interesting, very, very fun thing to play with and to elaborate on. Michael and I have been seriously toying with this man. They're going to do some really cool stuff with him.
And it definitely looks like your hard work is paying off. I mean, again, just the art itself, again, looks identical, sincerely identical to the original MTV mainframe production. And that just shows how far you guys have come in such a short amount of time. And the, again, fact that you don't have the big budget backing of a huge production studio like Mainframe or MTV or Marvel, and you're doing this out of pocket, out of your own free time, out of your own passion for the character of Spider-Man directly is something that I think is just truly special and sincerely heartwarming to see amongst a group of talented people like yourselves. And seeing, again, it's not Spectacular Season 3, it's not another continuation of the 90s show, it's not even Spider-Man Limited Season 2, it's something that has become a cult classic amongst Spidey fans, where there are a lot of interpretations of Spider-Man, a lot of people either really like or really dislike, or a lot of people, I would say, kind of feel a bit more in the middle towards. This one, the new animated series version, Neil Patrick Harris, my guy, has become one of the best interpretations of Spider-Man I've ever seen, and it's from an animated series, just like how I view the same thing, Spider-Man PS4, it's from a video game of all things, and it has easily become one of my favorite versions of the character outside of the comic medium. So seeing that an animated series of this type of tone, aesthetic, and narrative portrayal can do this character so much justice and just create a story and several different stories in different episodes that conveys Spider-Man in a way we haven't really seen before, kind of not necessarily outside of his element, but again, the title of the show, the new animated series, doing new and creative things with Peter Parker's character in a mature tone, with the stylization of a 3D cel-shaded format, just adds so much more flair to a standard animated show. And just seeing you guys continue that is honestly great. The work you've done is beautiful, and I'm so happy to be able to, during this video, showcase some of it to the audience members who are going to hopefully watch your entire production by the time it's out. Thank you all so much for tuning in, everybody watching, and thank you, Nero, Gons, and Tough Cookie, for actually being able to allow me to interview you guys on your production. And I would say any final words that you have about the show itself, anything that you're truly in love with of the Spider-Man new animated series as a whole, or just anything to the fans of the show that are going to be watching your production continue on the greatness that was that original series.
Honestly, the series is something that I love a lot, and I love the characters. I mean, I love the continuation of the story from Spider-Man 1 and how they kind of branched off from that and did their own thing, and it worked, and they took on a more mature tone. And they had fun with it. All of it felt real. It felt real in that, like, the characters felt real. Spider-Man, they all felt like real people. They all felt like people that we could meet in real life and talk to. You know, it's a story that never talked down to its viewers. You know, they didn't pull any punches when it came to what real life would be in terms of the story. You know?
All of us on the team of TNAS Continued, we all love the show. We all appreciate how much you guys love the original show and how much you guys are excited for the new one. And I just wanted to remind everybody that no matter where we are or like how you feel about us, we're all fans of Spider-Man together. We're all in this together, you know? And so we're doing this not just for ourselves, but for you guys. And I think that's the most important thing.
On top of that as well, anybody who's helped out with this project, whether they're on it now or they've left, or the fans that watch, like, I personally want to say thank you, especially to you, Evan, for doing this. It's awesome. But yeah, like, everybody on the team, the concept artists, the voice actors, like you guys, Michael, Nero, I love you guys so much. This is a dream come true.
Love you too.
Of course.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see where this takes us. Like, not only just for this project, for beyond. Like, if you guys ever need anything, I got you. And then again, with you guys, the fans, like, you guys are not ready. It's gonna be so awesome.
It's nuts. It's crazy where it goes.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers.
We are just a fan-made project, so we really need all the help we can get. So if you guys could go over to our Indiegogo and donate as much as you're comfortable with, that'd be great. A lot of the money helps the crew. It helps us get, voice actors paid, and helps us get more animators into the team. That helps us speed up production process in the episodes. So if you want to see this, this series succeed and really, going out on a good basis and all, yeah, donate to the Indiegogo. That'd be a great help for everyone.
Well, that was just a taste, everybody, of what you can fully expect from Spider-Man, the new animated series continued. Definitely be sure to follow Nero Gons and Tough Cookie on all their social media pages. I will be sure to leave them all as links in the description below. Definitely support them as much as you can. They're truly doing an insane job of bringing to life one of, I would say, the best interpretations of Spider-Man that we've seen, at least in animation format, giving it new life and bringing it back for the modern era for all of us hardcore TNAS fans to thoroughly enjoy. I, for one, can't be more excited for this. I think you guys are going to do and are doing a killer job. I can't wait to see by the time it's fully completed, watch it in its entirety, and just bask in the greatness that is Spider-Man, the new animated series, once again. So, again, thank you all so much for allowing me to interview you. I am truly honored to be able to talk to you guys today. And for all you viewers out there, thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy. And without further ado, peace out.